Hey, my name is Jonathan, and I would like to talk about climate change right now and really let the world know the only hope for reversing climate change is a spiritual revolution. Like, government policy and government regulation is not going to end this pending environmental catastrophe that's going to happen on the planet because of mass consumption and mass consumerism, because that is why there's global warming, and there's going to be like massive floods and massive famine and massive desertification and starving and all this globally because of like mass consumption and just the materialism of the Western world. And so really that's not going to happen through government regulation and government policy. Like, spiritual revolution is the only hope. Right now in the middle of the field, and I love fields because fields really are so erotic. Like, if I had a girlfriend right now, I'd be fucking her in the middle of this field. Right now, right on top of this haystack. I'm so serious. Like, I'd fuck a girl right on top of this haystack. Right now. Or like up against that tree. I want to fuck a girl up against a tree. Right now. It's like, outdoors is so erotic. Like, there is a correlation between climate change and global warming and sexuality. But I have a statement here. Like to trying to explain to you what do I mean by spiritual revolution. A spiritual revolution is the only thing necessary for reversing climate change, because policy and regulation will not solve climate crisis. That's what I call it, is this crisis. It's not just a change in global warming. Policy and regulation will not solve climate crisis in that it does not effectively address a lifestyle of consumerism and a worldview of consumption, because what we're dealing with here is a lifestyle, materialism, and a worldview. It's all up here. That's what we're dealing with, is trying to change people's minds, trying to change people's lifestyles. Because that can only be answered by a spiritual revolution that counters an emotional and social deficit plagued by high consumers. So let me explain to you what I mean by spiritual revolution, and explain to you just the ways that what you can practice to engage and start a spiritual revolution to save the world, to save the planet from environmental catastrophe. Now, I practice all of these things, except for number 3, because I don't have a girlfriend or a wife right now. But like, let me explain to you what I mean. First of all, is commitment to friendships, because those who are high consumers, like especially Americans, because Americans make up only 5% of the world's population, but consume 25% of all the products of the entire world. Like, all the products that are made, 25% is consumed by Americans. And Americans are essentially have shallow relationships and do not express the value of commitment to all their friendships. So commitment to friendships, especially and including forgiveness, like practicing forgiveness in all your friendships, will solve climate crisis. And number 2 is proactively engage with multiculturalism. There's all people walking by. Proactively engage with multiculturalism. Hi.
Hey.
Talking about climate change.
Sounds good. Well, climate change doesn't sound good, but talking about it.
That's right, yeah. Proactively engage with multiculturalism, including visiting with a variety of places of worship, learning and learning fluently a foreign language. Because, like, engaging with other people of other different religions and other different ethnic groups and different races and all that, that really heals you emotionally, heals you spiritually, so that you're less likely to consume. So proactively engage with multiculturalism, like visit a mosque, visit a Buddhist temple, a Hindu temple, a Wiccan shrine, or visit a synagogue, and also learn fluently a foreign language, because this engages something, taps into your spiritual person, so that it heals you from wanting to be a shopper and just shopping so much. Like number 3, but it says having sex for 2 hours a day. Like, because there is a strong tendency toward consuming and being an indicator for a poor sex life. If you have a poor sex life, you redirect those energies towards buying and shopping and just being a mass consumer. And so, like, essentially Americans have a poor sex life. So have sex for 2 hours a day. Like, maybe even out in the middle of a field or something, because That goes along with number 5, like getting engaged with Mother Earth. And also having sex for 2 hours a day keeps one from overutilizing an automobile. Like keeps you from driving so much. So like you're not wasting and using up so much fossil fuels. That's number 3. Number 4 is calming down in the midst of a crisis. Like for example, not freaking out when there's a terrorist attack or a natural disaster. Because like after lack of sex, like fear is the next best tool toward the drive of consumption. Like fear and lack of sex, like you buy so much, you're such a materialistic person because you're afraid, basically. And like that's the worst thing to happen, like during a natural disaster and a terrorist attack, is for your government to say, well, go buy more, because like to be honest, like a collapse of the government, a collapse of the economy, a total economic collapse is the best thing for the environment, because it means less consumption. And number 5 is get outside more and reconnect with the elements, like reconnect with Mother Earth through personal gardens, through hiking and camping and buying food at like a farmer's market, practicing nudism, hiking and camping, climbing trees, and outdoor yoga. Like these are reconnecting with the Mother Earth so that you're less likely to be a massive consumer. Like non-Western countries already have that, because that's why they're spiritually fed by Mother Earth in developing countries, and especially as peasants, and in rural countries that are primarily rural. They have that connection. They're fed spiritually by Mother Earth. So that's why it's one reason, besides economic, they're not massive consumers. And number 6 is contentment. Like practicing contentment. Like be happy with who you have in your life. First of all, be happy with who you are, but especially be happy with who you have in your life, and then with what you have in your life. And that will heal you spiritually, so you're not just such a massive consumer. That's all I wanted to say, and that's the best way, because a spiritual revolution is the only way to solve climate crisis. You're awesome. I love you so much. Bye.